Hello and welcome back to the Long Island Railroad Montauk branch. Just wanted to give you a quick update so that you didn't think I was dead. We're going to start by talking about this styrofoam cutter. I learned a valuable lesson. I relearned a valuable lesson. And that is, if a deal looks like it's too good to be true, then it probably isn't true. So I ended up just ordering this directly from the factory, which turns out is right here in North Carolina. Got it in 2 days and started cutting styrofoam. It works great. If you read some of the reviews online, they say that it's wobbly or that something's loose. Not in mine. They must have put theirs together wrong or something. It works just fine. It's great. Now, when I got this, or before I got it rather, I evaluated my needs. I wanted to make sure I was getting the right tool and there wasn't something else that I could get that would be more useful for my modeling. Like I considered one of those things you use to cut wood, laser wood cutters. I forgot what they're called. Tells you how much I know about them. Or say a 3D printer. Now I decided not to get both of those, A, because I'm not a woodworking person. Hello, Clementine. So I didn't get the wood cutter. And everything I've seen about 3D printers, I mean, they look awesome. They can do all sorts of wonderful things. But it seems like a lot of work. A lot of, worrying about the resin and cleaning up and I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was right for me. So I ended up getting this. So I urge all of you, if you're going to make a purchase of this kind, make sure you evaluate all your options and get the right thing. Get the thing that you will use the most and make the best use of. See? Clemmy likes it. Don't you, girl? Yeah. And if you want to learn more about how one of these works, check out Jason Jensen Trains. He made a really good episode on how to use one of these, and he uses it like a total pro, like the pro that he is. So I don't know what video it is. Just go to his channel, watch all of his videos. You'll enjoy them. And next on the agenda of intensely interesting subjects about which I wish to speak is this. If you remember, I was doing some work on this in my last video, and it's all done. It's all ballasted and ground covered, and I put in all the little accessories. So this is the new Frok and Sechel building materials company, specializing in concrete or cement or whatever it is that comes out of those silos. And wood too, because I had all that wood. Didn't want it to go to waste. So I think it looks pretty good. Came out pretty well. Zoom in a little bit on my crane. I love my crane. And I put in a little under the track magnet right here-ish to help in decoupling. They're hard to use. I'm not sure they work that well, but I had one, so I used it. Moving on. Next, this crane truck. I made this. Scratch built out of styrene, except for this part, the cab, and the underneath the chassis, which was pre-made. There's I don't know, some Chinese-made truck. But I made the cover, the base there that the cab sits on, the cab, all this, rigged it. It's all out of styrene. Pretty happy with it. Got a good picture of it. Because they, of course, Kibri, I think, Volmer maybe, some of the German companies make crane trucks for $50. And I said, I don't want to pay that much. So I had this truck that I got at a train show for like $1. And I said, I'll just put a new cab on it, or a new bed and make my own. It took a while, because everything is hand cut. I didn't make any jigs or anything because everything is, I don't know. I do things by hand. Do things by eye. I'm not real good at making plans. See, the thing about plans is once you make one, you really should stick to them. And I barely ever do. So there we go. It doesn't actually operate other than the cab. Whoa, nice, good job. This part turns, but the boom doesn't go up and down or anything like that. But I don't need it to. So I figured since I took the big crane, this one, the one on tracks, moved it over here so it can work in, it would be more appropriate for tracks to work on the hard packed gravel surface. It's not tearing up the road or the asphalt. So I made the, well, I'll have to cut that out. So I made this one to work the team track. Now I'll be talking about my Caboose project. As you can see, I've installed a red light. It may not be easy to tell that it's red. Here, look at the reflection on the water. You can see that it's red there. A light in my Caboose, because you're supposed to have a red light at the end of your Caboose, right? Excuse me. I did it just using a very basic setup of a 3-volt battery, the LED, 3-volt LED, and a slide switch, on-off slide switch. It works just fine. Now, let's talk about reed switches. I watched a video of a guy who did basically the same kind of thing with a reed switch, which is a switch where he passed the magnet over the switch from the outside. You can do it with the roof on, and it turned it on, and then he passed the magnet over it again, and it turned it off. And I said, hey, that's awesome, I want that. So I ordered a bunch of reed switches from All Electronics. Now, it turns out that what he was using was called a latching reed switch, also called a bistable reed switch. Those things are like unicorns in the US. I believe he was in the UK, and maybe he found one there. I checked everywhere, and even though a site would say you need to search latching reed switch and it'd come up with a list, and once you got into the details, none of them were actually latching reed switches. So what I got was, I think, 4 normally off reed switches. You put the magnet near the reed switch and it turns it on briefly, and then you pull the magnet away and it turns back off. Obviously that's not going to work for what I needed. So if any of you out there know where I can get latching reed switches, please let me know. Because you can't, well, obviously I can't find them. So in case you're wondering, I just made the connecting parts out of sheet brass, glued it down to some styrene, because obviously you don't want to glue the connections to the steel magnet. That would be bad. Or not magnet, weight. And just wired it up using itty bitty wire. It was fairly easy once I got past the frustration of my latching reed switch not being a latching reed switch. On, off. Great. All right, that's it for the Caboose. Kind of a fun little project, and you can all try that at home. This is a Bowser Caboose, by the way, in case you're wondering. Bowser makes really good stuff. I like it. And next on the hit parade is the copper anode unloading shed and dock, which I've finally finished. And you can see I've got my pilings here from French Springs River. Just got them. Still need to paint them, obviously. Rattle, rattle, rattle. So that's the first thing I did once I got my styrofoam cutter, was I cut out this styrofoam. Let me move the crane out of the, or the truck and the crane out of the way so that you can see it a little better. The shed too. So I cut that out of styrofoam and I painted it as Jason paints his, which is a layer of chalk paint, and over that a wash of the gray, and then it got some intentional and unintentional spatters on it, but I think it looks just fine. Ah! God, I'm so clumsy. How did I survive in this hobby? I'll just put that there. And you can see I've got the first bit of track laid from a narrow gauge track. Goes around the corner there. And then I also, I don't know if I've shown you this before, the coal dock, I've got that finished. And it's glued in place, ready to go. This is a Keebri kit, I think. And the thing slides back and forth on its tracks if you're careful. Actually, I need to push it from right here. Yeah. It doesn't roll very well, but then it's not really supposed to roll. It has wheels, but plastic on plastic, you know how that is. Well, maybe you don't, but let me tell you, it doesn't work very well. So, where was I? Oh yes, over here. I also have this crane, and in this crane I wanted to do the same thing as I did with the Caboose, and if I had had a latching reed switch, that would have been awesome. But as it was, since I can't take the roof off of this, I put the switch underneath right there. So you can see, turn it on and there's the light, and off, light off. So that's that. And the final thing I wanted to show you is my this little drawer that I put in to control the narrow gauge track, which is DC only. And I'm using an old N-scale, or at least smaller power pack that I've had for quite a while. And it just sits in the drawer, and the drawer slides in and out. Now, remember, I'm the worst carpenter in the world, so yeah, there's a little gap there because I'm an idiot. But it works for my purposes, okay? So shut up. Now, does it actually work? Well, here, look at the light. See, I got a little lighted switch here. The light's on, so what does that mean? That means it's off. Look it up, light goes off, that means it's on. Why? And that is intentional. I mean, that's how the switch is designed. I didn't do anything wrong. I know, I looked it up. I don't understand. So anyway, I'm going to have to get a new switch because I can't stand it. It bothers me so much. But anyway, let's run it. See? There it goes. Makes my heart soar like a bird. It's so cute. And back the other way. So this little Kato chassis, or Kato, I don't know what, responds really well. I mean, I only have the power connected in one place right there. And it's pretty good low speed performance. It could be better. That could be the chassis, or not chassis, the transformer just as much. Whoops, wrong way. Yeah, I've been model railroading a long time. It could be the transformer just as much as the engine, as to why the low speed performance isn't that great. It's okay, it's good enough. Maybe I'll get a Kato transformer. I've read that they work really well, especially with Kato equipment. I think that's it. Nothing else to show you. All right, see you all in the next one. Oh, next thing I'm going to do is a video on how to paint figures. So stand by for that. See you next time.